We hear in the gospel today Jesus talking about different cities that perhaps wanted to experience spiritual greatness. Capernaum was considered to be a very spiritual town. And Jesus says, will you be exalted to heaven? You'll go down to the netherworld. It reminds us of the teaching of Jesus, who said that those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. But I think sometimes we get that teaching wrong, because when we translate it into our own heads, we think sometimes, basically, that what that means is that we should never strive for greatness. That if somehow we're striving for greatness, that we must be proud, and God will humble us. As I was reading the officer readings this morning, St. Therese, from her autobiography, I caught something that I hadn't noticed before. And that was that St. Therese, talking about the different members of the mystical body of Christ, specifically said that she wanted to be greater. That she wanted to distinguish herself in the body of Christ more than the apostles and the martyrs. It says here, when I had looked upon the mystical body of the church, I recognized myself in none of the members which St. Paul described. And what is more, I desired to distinguish myself more favorably within the whole body. That's a holy desire. It's a holy desire of greatness. Even as St. Therese began to understand her little way, she looked at the stairs of perfection and thought herself too little, too small, too weak to be able to climb them. And she told Jesus, listen, Jesus, what I need is an elevator. Elevators were just being invented at that time. I need an elevator, Jesus, and the elevator will be your arms lifting me up. But notice, no one in the church would tell St. Therese that she was proud for wanting to reach the heights of spiritual perfection. The difference is, she knew it wasn't her job to do it herself. She wasn't trying to exalt herself. She wanted God to be glorified in her and through her. This reminds us, brothers and sisters, that we too are called to have little mustard seed size faith, but still 100% faith, in God's ability not only to make us saints, but as St. John Paul II would say, who declared St. Therese a doctor of the church, even great saints. Should we have this desire, should we have this yearning within us, we would not be proud. We would instead be putting our faith more in God and His ability to transform us, in God and His grace and His action at work in us, rather than putting our faith in the power of sin, or in our habits of the past, or in our weakness, or even in the power of the devil to stop us. So today we ask St. Therese for that very humble yet great confidence, not in ourselves, but in God's ability to make us not only saints, but like St. Therese, even a great saint.